Dragon Dreams, Book 5, Sacred Phoenix Heart, written by Gina Virginia Casella. Story brought to tears. It's trying to be trying. More brutal honesty. As I review my dream journal, I feel a swell of emotion. Across page after page, I have written extensively about my husband's love for me. These pages contain many little stories depicting tender moments between us, stolen kisses, enjoying simple pleasures like sharing a morning coffee. My journal describes our plans to travel together, embarking on grand tours across continents, focusing on experiences like wine tasting. When recording these dreams, I aim not just to memorialize them, but to manifest them, making heartfelt requests to the universe, bridging realities. I explore different scenarios like how my husband and I would navigate having children. In each envisioning, I am well received, regardless of circumstance. My journal helps me crystallize my deepest hopes for my marriage. In one meditation, my husband already has two daughters. He wants to make it a point to show his daughters how a man treats a lady through our marriage, and his daughters are very giddy about our marriage. They adore their father, and they see me as a role model. What's depressing is that I can openly dream and it brings me joy. Yet within all this joy, I'm making notes about the paperwork that is due, and the struggle with brain fog is real. So I rewrite these parts, seeing these very pages as an Akashic record. I am writing and rewriting. I mean, who wants to read about all the crap going on in my waking life? I don't want to. I'd like to put it behind me. And many pages are only rants, which were necessary, yet not worthy of making their way into these pages. No matter what, I keep my chin up and continue writing in my dream journal. If I miss a day, it emotionally piles up. So the dream journal begins to speak to me, if you will. It's my spirit guides insisting I continue to talk to them every day. They say that I do have somebody to talk to, that I do have somebody listening right here in this Dragon Dreams journal. I don't think the universe is used to me commanding and demanding, so I come across as very commanding and demanding in my dream journal. It's concerning how much I command and demand. And it's also upsetting that I would have to command and demand at all for basic things like personal security. I feel needy and whiny more than commanding and demanding. My guides tell me not to overthink it, and they insist if I need to talk to someone, to talk to them through this process. I make the connection talking to them doesn't translate into them solving my problems. So the guides reach out to other guides, and some call this an upgrade of guides. Meanwhile, along my process, I learn different guides serve different purposes. And I also learned many are not even guides. They're simply formless folk, both dead and alive. Either way, we're all delighted to be connecting. And it's really cool for the non-guides to be part of this process. They say only Soul Tribe can hear them. So they're just glad I'm paying attention because before I was too freaked out. So they had to back off and back off a lot, that it was creating a bit of a gap. But now that gap's closed. The non-guides are remote viewers, out-of-body experiencers from here and other places, ghosts of the deceased, and spirits like elementals, if you will, and such. Despite my unorthodox dreams, my husband and I are planning our small, classy wedding. A couple of weeks before the big day, we'll have a relaxed camping celebration. We're spending nights finalizing details for our special day. Though unsure about specifics, we want abundant roses, representing the goddess garden of gratitude. I embody the goddess, and he the king, the god, we symbolically unite within the garden during our ceremony. For attire, I envision wearing beige lipstick, and I am drawn to blush pink roses, while my husband prefers I wear red lipstick and have red roses. I decide to incorporate both. We both decide to incorporate both. And the night prior, we'll have a mix of peach, purple, and dusty pink roses. I'll wear beige lipstick with dusty blush pink roses the night before, accented with purple. Our wedding day will feature red roses and red lipstick during a special dinner. I struggle to read my journal, as it contains many hopes and dreams that are difficult to face. Some of these dreams are so beautiful, I'm scared to dream them. The journal also reveals realities that I'm ashamed of, fears I have, and dreams that may never come true, though I continue to rewrite the negative ones and dream new happy ones. The happier dreams make me more emotional than the negative ones because they represent deeply cherished aspirations. As I turn each page, I am confronted with truths I've tried to deny. Reading this journal will require deep self-reflection so I can come to terms with its contents. The Wise and Well Whale and Orca elders gather everyone for a gemstone reading to share insight. The reading explained that a situation is tipping towards change, which will happen suddenly. The change will activate the next phase of my life with masculine energy, transforming it into feminine. Amanda leads me with the authority of my higher self. My spirit guides stand with me, seeing me as a soul having a human experience. The more we look within each other, the more we discover. The tiger eye gemstone represents my formless ET family, who support and oversee my journey, with Dragon assisting too. Dragon is now my inner wisdom to follow. Focusing on the north means following my heart and Dragon within. I was facing west, but now things will move fast. When change comes, it will bounce me up, like a mirror flipping. Don't worry about directions or speed. Only follow your heart, and you need not worry anymore. Toby separates the past from the present. He has left behind Jaguar, the mental plane, and the childish parts of himself. Now Toby reinforces that he is moving forward as a new person, having let go of what he needed to transform the progress. He is moving forward as me. The gemstone reading is about Toby, and simultaneously all my spirit guides, including me. We're all shedding skin and upgrading. Toby grows frustrated with his insights. Though deep, they are also paradoxical and contradictory. The ideas of duality and metaphors override any emerging understanding. He then reminds me this gemstone reading aims to assist Gina in working with her narrative. Jaguar, he continues, is inseparable from the mental realm, and Lefty Lucy is not a discrete being, but a part of a greater whole. Toby takes the lead on the gemstone reading. He tells me the power animals are mostly aligned in their proper order, though slightly out of alignment. This suggests I am slightly out of alignment with them. However, things are progressing as intended, with Eagle Condor precisely where they should be. Their placement emphasizes focus on myself, indicating I am important. My well-being is vital for the universe to function, so I must prioritize self-care rather than take myself for granted. The North Star guides you to follow your heart. Your exceptional talents steer you east, forming the triangle's tips. Like a great wheel spinning, I am led westward with purpose. This transformation has not been about speeding through motions aimlessly. Rather, it is as though the very alchemy of life has begun spinning my wheel. like the Weisenwell whale and orca elders' pods swirling around me as they breach the water, transforming me from potential energy into kinetic energy. I feel as if I am coming up for air after holding my breath for too long, ready to breach the surface and blow out. I am completely revitalized. This is a rite of passage and celebration that goes well beyond my understanding. I fly, and I spread my wings and flap them with delight. Feeling the air and gravity as I ascend, I long to be home, and wherever I am, I bring the home and hearth of the great grid that we're all connected to. I am the home and hearth. I am the great grid. I am connected. This is why folks really resonate with me and feel comfortable around me. In my waking life, I don't feel so liberated because some folks feel so comfortable around me that they're rude to me. It's like, I'm glad they feel safe and comfortable to do this, but it doesn't make it okay. Like Eagle Condor, I stand my ground firmly. I zoom in, on, and out of what matters, maintaining clarity of mind and therefore clarity in communication. I don't worry about rude people since they exist everywhere. I never cared what others thought of me until it negatively impacted me professionally. Struggling with the injustice that occurred in a professional setting, it's too easy to spiral down the rabbit hole. Revisiting my dream journal triggers scary uncertain feelings, anger and loneliness. This is an unproductive mindset, yet I persist in recording my dreams here. I insist I am enough. Things are available to me and that I'm the same as everyone else. There is a difference between running away and exiting a toxic environment. I left toxicity, though I had wanted to remain. Much loss and emotional turmoil follow me, and redirecting my thoughts denies my emotions too much. Reviewing this journal allows me to truly be present for myself, listening to my inner cries, and reassuring my pained inner self that we now live in Chilliwack. Though without all the answers, I know we live an upgraded life and have a bright future, marriage, and more. I must insist on this perspective up until my last breath. As painful as this process has been, I'm benefiting greatly and look forward to publishing resources and facilitating workshops. I get irritable at times doing spirit work and working with metaphors that can seem contradictory and overwhelming. I've come to realize that when I feel this way, it's because my mind is overloaded. What I need to do is rest my mind, release emotions through crying if needed, and/or create a to-do list to regain clarity. I often feel like crying out of frustration at having to make difficult decisions alone, without a support system to discuss ideas with, or a safety net in case I stumble. The truth is, I have stumbled, as I've been unable to work and generate income, and the whole situation has been extremely stressful. Toby tells me the mental plane needs to rest because the subconscious mind is doing its work. So embrace the irrational mind, the creative mind, and dream the dreams you dare to dream. You're the dream, and the dream is you. All thoughts are in charge because all thoughts are the collective consciousness. The obsidian represents the emotional plane of the heart. This indicates that emotions are heightened in the northwest direction. Allow yourself to be guided by your feelings at this time, as your heart is speaking to you. Though its message may not seem fully rational, listen closely and let your heart lead the way forward. As if by magic, I am adorned with purple dragon wings emblazoned with the words 100% trusting. Atop my head are two large purple pointed horns, reminiscent of Polaris's own. Draped around my shoulders is Bridget's green cape, and I am envisioned as black to symbolize my role as the eye, the focus, the pupil, the center point amidst the storm. When I examine myself closely, a golden dragon's tail completes my fantastical form. Toby reveals that the eagle condor's nest is also home to the dragon, phoenix, and many other creatures. These nests connect to the underground burrow of tunneling animals like rabbits and polar bears. The inhabitants of the sea and sky make up a metaphorical food chain, predation cycle that I work with. This web also includes those who migrate, like whales and butterflies. Toby struggles to provide relevant metaphors and parallels for me as he works with all dimensions, and must be careful to consider that my singular dimension, animals, have limitations. Birds cannot swim, and giraffes cannot fly, for instance. Toby explains that weavers, like spiders, must work within a fixed grid, allowing little flexibility. If the foundation does not hold, the weaver must start over. Yet spider-like folks persevere, restarting as often as needed. They are not perfectionists, but simply build foundations. Without a sturdy base, nothing lasts. In contrast, tunneling and migrating types easily dodge obstacles and move forward, making mistakes and gaining skills along the way. Like water and air, tunnelers and migrators flow around things, while weavers cut through, knitting each knot with the intention to sow and colonize the land. Weavers construct the grid and foundation with their yarn, while tunnelers till the earth. The two groups require each other, linking the life-death-life cycle's renewal. They form an infinity symbol. They are essentially one and the same, switching roles over time. The weavers also till the earth. The tunnelers, migrators, also are knitting on a large scale. I tell Toby I feel overwhelmed by all of this information. I seem to follow along at first, but then get confused. Toby assures me that if I'm struggling to grasp these complex concepts, it's a positive sign that I'm pushing the barriers of my understanding and expanding my mind. The mind enjoys productive confusion, such as working with puzzles, codes, and metaphors. This stimulating mental exercise is just what I need right now, not the stressful confusion of my leave situation. Since the mind's main role is to protect us, the logical part of my brain finds this type of healthy mental challenge very appealing. Engaging this protective part of the brain in making connections through productive confusion is phenomenal. Toby compares his spiritual growth to leveling up in a video game through alchemy. As we upgrade ourselves spiritually, we take on new roles, forms, and abilities, exploring different dimensions, and even creating new ones. Each time we grow spiritually, the entire system evolves too. So my guides also advance as they support my journey, and vice versa. I advance as I support their journey. It seems my guides' development in other realms indirectly empowers my awakening here in this physical life, even without my conscious awareness. Now I can start paying closer attention to these subtle spiritual dynamics unfolding. We sometimes find ourselves lucky due to guidance or resources from other dimensions, spilling into this one. Other times, we experience emotional turmoil because we subconsciously take on the pain of alternate versions of ourselves to provide comfort. I'm at a point where my awakened self is converging. We're like characters from a video game who now share abilities and direct themselves. This is biohacking. We're realizing our strings are decorations. We puppet selves, compromising one spirit, have peeked behind the curtain and taken charge. Assigning avatars, yet still together. We await you there. Toby laughs joyfully. He admits he can't even keep track, and he laughs more because he admits that he doesn't even care. All he cares about is that he was able to connect with me and the others, and that together we can benefit each other. At this time, I'm the only 3D blood biological, and my guides have been stalking me with the power animals my whole life. They didn't mean to scare me as a child, which is why I never saw them and only felt their presence. They would present themselves as insects, pets, and small furry forest friends. Some of their presence they have learned, though, through me, is intimidating or heavy and sad when not intended to be, which contributes to our learning and their need for me to help them process their ancestral trauma. Toby laughs, blaming my fears on social media and the news in terms of ghost stories. As I heal each guide and merge again with each fragment, it's like unlocking access as the access is blocked through the emotional blockages. Once unblocked, the healing takes place and the feature or talent is free again. Toby reminds me of an amusing dream I had before meeting my guides. While on leave, in the dream, I was joyfully brushing my hand back and forth over a book with golden pages. It was a lovely feeling. I realized someone was watching me. It was another version of me. I could tell that the observing me was afraid, so I intuitively knew not to engage with her. Instead, I led by example so she could witness and learn from me. I carried on as if I wasn't aware she was there. I could feel which page to turn to with my fingers. And just like that, I turned to the right page, then put my arms up and out as if to fly away. At this point, I became the watching version of myself. I watched as I spread my arms up and out. Then I watched myself feel the buoyancy in the air. But instead of flying away, I swam up into the air. Part of me wanted to follow, although I was too scared. The swimming part of me hoped I would follow and report this experience to the guides, connecting us. It's an amusing story because I genuinely remember being scared watching myself from a third-person perspective. I also recall the first-person perspective knew not to scare me, engage with me, notice me, or do anything with me. Otherwise, I could get freaked out and wake up. I didn't know any different. However, it was a real breakthrough for me at this time. Toby laughs wildly because he sees the truth that I cannot. Everything and everyone I fear is actually much more afraid of me. Toby can see beyond superficial appearances to true forms. So, although we may look the same on the surface, if we could shed our human skin, I would be a mighty T-Rex, surrounded by tiny chipmunks. It's hilarious that a T-Rex would cower before chipmunks. I'm not alone in this irony. If we all had Toby's ability to see beneath the surface, we would witness many absurd scenes like worms bossing around birds. On this note, Jaguar wishes to interact with me more, but the truth is, I'm too frightened and disturbed. Toby laughs even harder, recalling the story when I first met Jaguar, documented somewhere else in these dragon dreams. He tells me I'm gradually building my ontological imperative, though there is still an overwhelming amount to learn and unlearn. Toby provides me with a vision. I perch proudly atop one of Toby's highest branches, feeling like royalty as the wind rustles through my feathers. I feel the power and know that the real power lies within me. Moreover, the currency of the heart beats through my wings. The wind lifts me, for I trust it completely, just as I trust myself. I represent the wind beneath my wings. My trust extends to the universe itself, for I am one with it. Toby tells me I never have to metaphorically worry about landing on a tree and the branch breaking because as I forage, I simply land with indifference. If the branch breaks, I'm indifferent to it because my trust was never in the branch. It was always within myself, always within my wings. Someone created a quote about this. When difficult events occur in my life, it is like a badger tunneling around an obstacle. I have lived fighting against problems and now I navigate around them with ease, moving forward properly without lingering. I stay focused, weaving my path and working around life's events because they are not real events, only passing experiences in an illusory, dreamlike state, half misunderstood and half remembered. On behalf of all my guides, Toby conveys heartfelt gratitude for many conversations and looks forward to many more. They want me to know I am loved and that they are listening and helping me continuously. Their assistance grows stronger by the moment. Do not despair, child of clay. Do not be dismayed. Stay in this form as Gina. She is on board and continuously awaking. With full disclosure, once you know the truth, there is no going back to your regular life. There was Gina before the severe panic attack, and there is the new Gina after it. She is the same person, only an upgraded, awakening version, aligning with working with us. We understand this is an extraordinarily difficult time for you. Some of us grasp the realities you face regarding time, money, and energy better than others. Ascended masters on your committees now advocate for raising awareness among those with no concept of time or finances. Also, a need to designate roles among guides. It's very worrying. Only those who understand such concepts as time, money, and resources will now assist you in these matters. The point is, I can rest assured knowing I'm loved, connected, and supported. Support is here for you, Gina. It comes from the universe itself. So dare to dream your dreams as they manifest into your upgraded life. Guidance fills these pages as you conquer obstacles and checklists. Persevere. We are ready to assist you as you develop your skills through spiritual practices and creative work. You demonstrate gratitude by using the insights we share. I'm grateful that Toby and my guides appreciate me, and I'm graciously acceptance of their gratitude. In turn, I express my own gratitude by sharing these very thoughts. It's understandable to feel sad or distressed, but it's important not to get stuck in those feelings. I need to both honor my emotions and keep moving forward. Processing these feelings causes stress with my current brain fog and cognitive challenges. I'm caught in the middle, tangled in complex layers of emotions. While I can cope with my feelings, I also feel upset and undermined, needing to prove myself. The psychologist's notes and involvement of WorkSafe highlight real issues, not just a disagreement, but an unsafe crisis. I sought to move on, to continue using my skills to help people. But each time I feel I'm recovering, distress returns. Sleeping through August doesn't feel like a vacation. It signals something is wrong. I occasionally go out to socialize, though no one realizes how exhausted I am afterward. Typically, I'm the last one to show up and the first one to leave after a couple of hours. A few hours can start to feel like a really long time for me. I put effort into looking presentable when I go out, but behind the scenes, I end up sleeping for 2 to 3 days to recover. The energy I exert to socialize takes away from my ability to keep up with household chores. When dishes and laundry start piling up, I feel discouraged and depressed. I also become hypersensitive about taking out the garbage frequently enough. When I fall behind on chores, I feel like a failure, as though the mess and odors reflect my inner turmoil. My need for long recovery periods after socializing is more of a symptom of my depression than a personal shortcoming. I need to remember this. Despite making a point to avoid alcohol, coffee, pop, cannabis, and late nights, I still struggle with low energy and social exhaustion. Even though I don't have any hearing issues, brain fog sets in, making it difficult to follow conversations. Volunteering online and hosting meetups still prove draining. I find myself depleted of energy quickly, needing to force smiles though in good spirits. Socializing requires substantial effort, from getting place to place, being on around others, and processing interactions. While sober living helps, managing my energy remains an everyday challenge. This sober living only proved to myself that I don't have any addictions. I keep getting pushed to go on medication, and the reason I'm off work keeps trying to get shifted into me having addictions, possibly having hormonal issues and or early menopause, and it's none of these reasons. I made good progress waking up and getting active earlier in the day. However, I'm currently experiencing a time where I feel drained of energy. Even after meditating and exercising, I feel the need to rest more than usual. I haven't had the energy to maintain my workout routine because I've been falling short of breath. The smoke from the wildfires has polluted the air quality. I had fallen into a routine of walking around Mill Lake, but I just don't have the drive to even make the trip there lately. And that's what I mean. It seems like whenever I think I'm doing all right, my energy levels drop again. I've been attending evening community dance classes that start at 7:45 p.m., which is a very late time of day for me. Walking around the lake had been helping to build my endurance and breathing capacity. I'm feeling extra sensitive about my work appeal situation. I feel extremely sensitive about letting go of my career and moving on from my previous workplace. I am deeply upset that my psychologist seems to confuse me with her other clients. She recently told me I am ungrateful, when in fact, I do a daily fire ceremony and showed her proof of my clipboard, as it was just out of her view, as it was an online session and this was awkward. It was like she was trying to fight with me, and it's like, can't she see how flat I am? Flat was a word she used earlier in her notes I submitted when she initially took me on as a client. She also said I should be pounding on doors and relentlessly calling about my situation. So it was unsettling that I had to remind her that I was doing just that, and it was taking away from me getting better. Moreover, at that time, she had previously encouraged me to stop doing such things as it was taking away from my wellness. She told me to give up on pursuing legal action since it would likely consume 3 to 5 years of my life and would likely be more an easy 7 to 10 years. Her conflicting advice is confusing and upsetting. I initially benefited from therapy, but now feel like I'm not making progress. In our sessions, I mainly update her on my situation, but we do not explore my feelings. Since changing psychologists, I have only seen the new one 3 to 4 times and feel I am just re-explaining my background, not getting real therapy. I am intimidated by upcoming assessments related to my work injury claim. I am not ready to go back to work. It feels condescending when told I need tough love or to be pushed, as that ignores the reality of my situation. I feel I may lose my mind. I am trying to stay hopeful and keep trusting the universe no matter how sensitive I feel. I was never one to score high, and I hope that not scoring well on assessments will work in my favor. In my dream journal, I imagine the best case scenario where everyone leaves me alone and I still get money from Canada Life. I also document a backup best case scenario where my appeal is successful, drawing positive attention to my union and the manufactured crisis facing teachers and students in public education. I also envision moving on to facilitate my own workshops and make videos about my books. I do this because it's fun and brings me joy. Moreover, it generates income that comes to me with complete ease. I no longer work or volunteer for anyone, nor am I a teacher anymore, only a hypnotherapist, facilitator, writer, and dancer. If I volunteer, it's more of my opinion that I give or provide free live demonstrations to promote myself. In my dreams, I envision my husband there, supporting me as we live a comfortable life. I envision myself flying, a symbol of contemplating my independent thinking. I have the freedom to ponder anything, and I don't want any single thought to control me. I am to acknowledge each inner voice as they represent deep parts of my self-seeking expression. My role is to listen. The challenge is that while I hear and understand these inner needs, I'm struggling to meet them. I feel I could satisfy them with financial stability and a loving partner. That seems to be one of my core issues. I know I'm good enough, yet the outside world often doesn't appear to appreciate me or wish me success. I long to smile, yet feel immersed in struggle, wanting only to cry. I can hear my inner sobbing and keep telling myself it's all right, that I'll release this sadness soon in a full expression of grief. I'm ready to do this now, although it's not happening as I'm too numb. For weeks, I felt on the edge of deep weeping, but just sit there, smoking more cannabis to shift my perspective. I feel condescended and manipulated. In acknowledging these emotions, I thank myself for the raw honesty and leave it at that. I can't let my mind spiral down these rabbit holes of frustration and injustice. I keep asking, what happened and what can I do to make things better? But for the first time in my life, I'm unsure. I feel like I'm letting Gina down because her life should be stable and she should be smiling with ease, her personal security needs met. If I'm not following my calling, I need support. My strong sense is that I'm doing the right things. It's just challenging. This heartache is part of a transition, helping me shift gears to live my best life. Polaris tells me, I am the wings. I am trust. I am I. I now know Polaris's horns are feathered, and the same feathers I have. These wings are tools to cut or sweep. My wings are that powerful, and so is my 100% trust in myself. I'm shown an image of a dark purple feather, so deep it's nearly black, with a red bow on it. My wings share the same DNA and ancestry as the dragon's wings. All my guides are from this ancestry, So together we view ourselves as one with our inner dragon. In my dream journal, I become demanding and commanding, frustrated and emotional. I keep flip-flopping between feeling okay and then falling down the rabbit hole of injustice and over-explaining myself. It's as if each time a can of worms is opened, I want to cry yet don't. I keep thinking that perhaps reading all of this over is intended to make me cry, which would be good, yet it's not bringing me to tears. Yet, as I edit this in October 2024, I can't help but bawl. I take a shower twice a day, just to bawl in privacy. I intend on narrating these pages, starting with book 5, and I anticipate I'll cry as I read them. And that's okay. It really is. I can feel appreciation from the Purple King because his problem is an inability to process emotions, leaving him perpetually stuck, unlike me. Currently, it feels like I too am stuck. However, it's temporary. This temporary state gave the Purple King hope because he knew I would eventually materialize to help him. It's as if I'm the God he was waiting for, which helped him realize we are all the gods we've been waiting for. Visiting the Purple King requires too much energy, yet I can sense him chiming in here and there with his thoughts. He chimes in now, telling me our bond and connection has strengthened like a stronger radio signal, giving us better stability. The Purple King is captivated by me. He watches me more closely than ever, as if I'm his favorite TV show, and he doesn't want to miss anything. He associates he associates his associates begin inquiring about me after hearing him enthusiastically share details of my journal, which he views as a dream journal of his own. Despite growing up in a war-torn time and scarcity, the Purple King always had abundance. He never thought to ask for help or support because it simply wasn't available, given the historical context. His beloved people explain psychology to satisfy his fascination. They ask if he'd like support to better assist me. Due to his ancient nature, it's best he remains in his dimension, communicating through my thoughts and dreams. Many can easily travel between our realities, providing me support from the Purple King directly. The Gnome King is intrigued that his realm defaults to hosting interdimensional visitors, like my guides. This is why Eagle Condor wants me to stay put. My reality is mortal and unsafe. I'm often warned against going anywhere with strangers, so public spaces are safer when guides approach. The Gnome King, gatekeeper between the past and future, grinned knowingly as I demanded things in the present moment. Though amused by my bold attitude, he patiently explained that everything truly exists in the now. The past and future are simply different aspects of the same present moment. As an overseer of time's eternal now, the Gnome King resides outside separation. For him, there is only the all-encompassing now, which contains everything. Like a Venn diagram of one circle, the present singularity focuses on the lens, though which we view yesterday and through which we view yesterday and tomorrow. The Purple King delivers a grand speech declaring I am no longer in waiting. In my mind's eye, I envision myself shattering mirrors, splintering water, fracturing the sky, demolitioning everything surrounding me. This is representative of me tearing down restrictive beliefs that once hindered me. The Gnome King keeps his distance as I wreak havoc. comprehending my turmoil and that this is a secure place for me to unleash my emotions. The Gnome King says not to be dramatic in smashing mirrors, etc. He also says not to throw rocks into the water to represent mirror smashing, etc. He reassures me that each time a flower loses its petals and a tree loses its leaves, these are metaphors that are part of the Gnome King's imagery of smashing mirrors and letting go. Seasonally, daily, monthly, we loosen our grip and let go with the world around us. It is the Gnome King's role to smash mirrors, if you will, to let the leaves fall from the trees and the petals fall from the flowers. That's his role. Yes, it takes much energy to smash the mirrors. That's why it's his role. When we smash through the glass sky, the Gnome King is involved in the process and does the actual smashing. So all I need to do is step back and allow him to do his work.